everyone, and welcome to the Ice for the Mospit videocast. And as you can see in the studio this week, we've got Defy All Reason.
Hello.
Hello. We got fans.
So we'll just pose a few questions to the guys, and then we'll let them do what they do best and play a few songs for us. So first time we came across you, well for me, about 18 months ago was it, when you played Slaughterhouse at the Roadhouse in Manchester?
Is it that long ago?
Yeah, it must be.
I ran off, didn't I, to watch Boing?
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, you left us, didn't you? You ran off.
Sorry.
Yeah. Whilst we were talking, you just kind of did a runner.
He wasn't motivated at the time.
Really?
Yeah. Other things still ends up pumping. Yeah. Watching
18 months.
Well, it's one of the first gigs I did and covered as a photographer.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it was kind of obviously we had a good chat after the gig, and then obviously we've just been wherever we've been. You've seemed to have been every time.
Yeah, we try and pop up wherever we can.
Exactly.
Trying to scare you. We're not stalking though.
We're like crabs.
So how long have you guys been together before that Slaughterhouse gig?
When did we get together?
So when was the Slaughterhouse gig? Was it like summertime? Was it something like that?
Yeah,
it was like last May.
A few months.
Yeah, about 6 months. Maybe, well, maybe 6.
So a couple of gigs before that gig.
Well, I think that was our third or fourth gig.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't. We hadn't been doing a lot. We kind of just jumped in.
Practicing, didn't we?
Yeah, we spent ages and ages practicing.
Because it was the back end of 2011 we got together, and then we started getting our songs tight and stuff, because we literally just all came together. And then, like you say, it must have only been a couple of gigs before we did the Roadhouse, I think.
Yeah. It was kind of my fault, because I wouldn't let us go out until we were, I say tight. What I mean is until I was comfortable. So I was kind of making everyone wait until I was ready. We're going out ready.
So who was the first one who thought about getting the band together?
It was you.
Yeah, it was me, I think.
So you needed the longest time to get together.
Kind of.
Get me out ready. Right.
Yeah.
Proper diva, isn't he?
There was because originally there was me, Rad on the drums. I basically phoned Rad up and said I was bored because the band I was in previously,
which was with me. Wasn't it?
Yeah, you were in that.
Oh well, and that broke up.
And then that broke up, and I did another one, and that broke up.
Lasted a week.
So I thought, right, I'll take a few months off and I'll sort of assess what I want to do. And I was bored. I was driving the missus mad, and I thought, right, I'm gonna have to go back and start a band. So I phoned Rad, and then we got a friend of ours, Phil, who, funnily enough, he named the band.
Right.
And then he turned around and said that he didn't want to be in the band. So I was like, well, can we keep the name?
So has he got any royalties for the name?
No.
No. CD, to be fair to him.
He did.
He'd have used his guitar on the recordings.
Yeah. I phoned him up and said, I need your guitar, and he was like, yeah, okay. So then I'd like this guy to come in because he was in another band at the time. And I said, come on, you got to get involved. And I phoned Lee up and said, I need a bass player. And he was free at the time. He said, "Yeah, I'll come down, give it a whirl." And it just kind of
right time, right place.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, because my band just broke up as you were bugging me.
Yeah, and we'd been in a band before.
Yeah, several
together,
bands actually.
So we'd all played with each other at some point musically.
Nice
by the way. That's interesting.
The only reason I have to say that is because someone interpreted it wrong last time.
I wonder why.
Yeah, well, I don't know. So yeah, we've all kind of been involved musically before, and then it was kind of let's put it together and see what we can do, and we just jumped in the practice room and jammed for a few weeks, and then put some songs down, and away we went.
So you've all been based around the Wrexham area.
Yeah, Wrexham, Mould. Is it Mould?
Mould. Before that, I was living in Harden, so always around North Wales.
All around. That's why you've obviously kept.
It's within kind of 20 minutes of each other.
Have they ever played gigs around there?
No, we don't do any local gigs. That's the frustrating thing.
Well, I was just going to ask because the only gigs I've been to in Wrexham were the Central Station ones when I went to Skindred.
Oh yeah.
Apart from that, there doesn't seem to be many promoters anymore or much going on.
No.
Is that one reason why there's?
It's difficult. The local scenes. I've got to be kind.
You don't want me to.
Well, I got to be kind. The music scene itself.
There's not much variety.
No, there's not much variety, and the promoters that are there, they promote a certain genre of music more than others.
Right.
And there's only a couple of venues now left.
So you mean they do hip hop and nothing else?
Well, they do indie and nothing else.
Oh.
Well, I say that. No, like venues like Central Station are very good. We love Central; it's a great venue. Some of the local pubs are very good as well because they'll have any local band in.
Yeah.
It's like anything; you've got to have a bit of a following to get in there, and they'll pay your way. But a lot of it's like, I suppose it's like most areas. A lot of pubs just want cover bands.
Yeah.
Because people like to go listen to
the same
bands.
ones on rotation.
Yeah,
constantly, don't they?
That's the problem because we can't get in because they're like, oh, I'm booked up now for 12 months because they've got the same bands on rotation going through.
Right.
So we thought, right, well, why don't we hit the circuit venues and try and get out with the promoters that are promoting touring bands and looking at unsigned bands, and let's try and go through that way, which is a little bit harder, a little bit more difficult, but you tend to find little avenues that.
So you've never been thought of just going to one of these pubs and saying, right, we'll do a cover set.
We've done cover sets.
Yeah, we've done a few
just to raise money more. Right?
Yeah, we've gone in and we've had to play things like Bryan Adams and we had an epic fail with the Darkness, didn't we? We did
yeah, you wanted me to sing it.
Yeah, no,
I bottled it.
we're not going there with that one.
My voice is
it's kind of, I don't mind doing covers. I'll do covers, but I don't get any satisfaction out of doing them. I learned the guitar from playing covers. And now it's kind of, I want to try and push myself.
You've evolved
well, I wouldn't say evolved, but I kind of
aged.
I've aged.
Same here, mate. Same here. Tell me about it.
So if someone said to me, "We'll give you whatever to do an hour and a half of covers," then we probably would. We would do it, and we just like gigging. But at the moment, we're enjoying so much of our own stuff and doing what we're doing at the moment.
Rather do an hour and a half of that.
Yeah, we'd love to.
Yeah.
I think because now we're getting more aware of what you need to be in a band to get noticed and things.
Yeah.
I think for us it's kind of like, well, we don't want to do too many things like that because we want to keep the identity of Defy, which is very much our own music, so we don't want to stray off. That's just why we're a little bit
stuck in a rut as well doing covers.
I think so.
Oh, it's easy money.
Because I think that's why in the bands that we've been in the past, me and Kev will tell you, we've done a lot of covers. I wouldn't say it gets boring because I do enjoy playing other music, but it gets to a point where you think it's not really fulfilling anything. You're not really you can't really get any better at playing covers because it's the same, isn't it?
What's so frustrating is that some musicians in these covers bands locally are superb. They're fantastic.
And living in the comfort zone.
And I'm kind of thinking to yourself, stretch yourself a bit more.
Like our new drummer.
Well, yeah, it's hard.
3 years probably.
Yeah,
but if it pays the way, I suppose.
I think that's the problem. I think you get more money and you get more satisfaction out of doing that. You talk to a lot of bands, and a lot of bands that we've known, a lot of bands that we've known that have failed or they've stopped doing what they're doing because they find it so hard going out and getting nothing back. Yeah. And I think it is hard sometimes. Like we've been to venues where we've travelled 2-3 hours, got there, and 5 people have been there, and it's disheartening. But then
that's like the gig that we came to with Fire in the Empire.
No. Yeah, but again, another class example. I mean, for us, an hour up the road's not far. I mean, we kind of go there now with the outlook of expect to play to no one, because then if we get there and there's loads of people there, it's a bonus for us. But we tend to do the same work ethic. We do what we do on stage, whether there's 5 or 500. Yeah. And I think that's what you've got to try and take forward.
Do you find if you're travelling 2-3 hours, because obviously you're going all over the country, aren't you, playing?
Yeah.
Surely it must be disheartening at the end of it when you travel all that way, and a lot of the times now you guys are playing with some quite established bands that you must come up going, well, there's only 2-3 people there. You must kind of go, you were hoping there'd be a bit more of an audience, something.
Yeah, you do get that, don't you? It's like sometimes you drive home and you get a bad mood or something, like it was a bad gig and you're like, bloody hell am I still doing this? But, but you have to look at, you wake up the next day and you go, I'm still doing it because it's what I love doing and it will become worth it.
I think what's scary is, from my point of view, is if you look at like big bands, what we class as big bands who are not really up the top, but they're a lot higher up the ladder than what we are, and they're only pulling in crowds of maybe 15-20 people. You look at how hard they've worked.
Bands like Fury, isn't it?
Yeah, and you kind of sit and you think, oh my god. But then, like in this country, you've got bands like Fury, we played with in Snooty Fox. The pub was packed, it was a great gig, fantastic, but then they go over into Europe and they're playing these big major festivals over there, and the difference is just,
well, you're an international band, you've come over the
we've come over the borders.
Yeah, we've crossed the borders. In theory, you're an international band.
That's how dedicated we are. That's how dedicated we are.
But as you say, some of the bands obviously you've supported Falling Red at the Dry Bar.
Yeah.
You've supported Broken, you've said all these bands that have played big festivals, and yet the crowds they're pulling in are small. You said that there comes a point where sometimes you think, is it worth it when you're doing that? But what you've achieved in these 18 months, for what we've seen, obviously you started off Slaughterhouse where no one knew you. You were starting out. You got a promoter there that's wanting to put good bands on, because you had you guys on, you had Waves Will Swallow us, the hardcore band. 2 great bands on the bill, yet you'd only been together for a short space of time. Not in the public domain anyway. Yeah. And then since that point, you just seem to progress up and progress up. Obviously, you've had the management helping you, which I'm assuming with Stormblaze was a great help to get you.
Definitely. I think with Stormblaze, especially with Andy, it was just more. It was the support and the information. He opened your eyes up to a lot of things. And I think
we didn't really book many gigs through it, did we? It was more just
it was kind of
go speak to this person.
Yeah, it was kind of all behind the scenes work.
It's like a father figure just to bounce ideas off and get.
He pointed us in the right direction. He was kind of saying, like, let's stay away from that, but let's go down this route and let's go down this route. And we were kind of really unlucky because when we first found out about Andy, he was going to put us on a support slot for a touring band from America.
Right.
I'm not too sure if I can say the name because I'm not too sure what's going on with them at the moment. But they were a very, very established band. A few of the members used to be in Wasp.
Right.
And they were coming over to do their tour, and it was going to be a huge opportunity for us to jump on this tour. And then it got shut down last minute for, I think there was issues with the family in America. And we do wish those guys well because we haven't spoken to them since. But that would have been really, really good for us. And then that kind of took a step back. But then because we were on Andy's radar then from sort of getting this gig, he then sort of took us and supported us for a few months before actually wanting to work with us on a managerial level. So he gave us a lot of support before he took us on. And we've been lucky enough that we've had lots of people do that through Facebook and through other internet channels and things. We've got a lot of really good friends with the band now who do give you a lot of information and they do point you in direction. They do support you. And the only way we could actually say thank you to them was actually to acknowledge them in the EP. Because there's nothing else, because they don't want anything in return, which is really, really nice, and they're genuine people, and it's surprising how much some of them know. You know, they tell you these things, and you're like,
saying, it's one of those until you've actually spoken to them properly. They'll say, "Oh, I can give you this, I can get you this." Until you've actually spoken to them, and then you, like say with Andy, it's just opened up. And then obviously you've gone through. If we just keep step forward, you've gone from Stormblaze, you've got the EP out, which is where available at the moment.
iTunes and we've got an online store as well.
Because some people will have missed out on getting the download, the free downloads.
The free downloads, and I'm tight, you know. I wasn't. But we just thought that because the aim of the EP is initially to get the band out there, get the name out there, and make sure people are aware that we exist. So we thought, well, let's do a few weeks where it's free, plug it to death, and just make sure people download it. And then after that point, we're going to have to charge for it because we still need to try and make some money back to try and put into the album and other tours and other things. And we've been really taken back by the feedback really that we've been given from this EP.
It's been really quite positive, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, and I think for us, in terms of what we were trying to do at the time, the songs we chose, because we were battling for weeks and weeks about what songs to record.
So originally we wanted to do 6, didn't we?
Yeah, and then we cut it down to 4.
We got setbacks. It was like we were going to do it in September last year, and then it was like massive setback. I can't remember what it was now.
It was kind of EP coming soon, and then 2 months later, EP coming soon.
Coming soon, EP fundraiser. Help us raise the money for it.
So it was just delayed, but yeah, the EP's been really, really good, really good. And I think now we've kind of set the bar for ourselves in terms of when we go in to do the album end of the year, hopefully end of the year. We know what we've got to try and do now to lift the level of what that was. Right. You know, so it's been a good learning curve.
Because obviously since you recorded the EP, people that don't know, you've obviously had the change with drumming duties.
Yeah.
Now, as we've had the chat before, the songs live now have changed. How do you feel that? Obviously, it's going to be a positive change because you're changing up. It's a new feel for when you play it. But for people that might have just listened to the EP, how could you explain that change from the live performance now than what it was when you recorded it?
We've been quite careful with that though, haven't we? We haven't let the EP tracks change because people have already heard them. Said do them to CD, but then everything else, if you've come up with something to make it better, do the change, throw it in there. So it's like the less known songs that people have only ever heard live. So they're still the ones that can have that development in it.
So I suppose in a way, although it's never a good time to lose a band member, in a weird kind of way, because we just released it, it was almost quite a good time really, because the only people's songs that would have heard us, if they'd never seen us play live, were the ones on the EP. So with the other ones, we could actually be a bit more experimental, especially with Todd, because he's always throwing ideas out there, so what if we put this in?
Because he's such a studio at home and stuff like that.
And he's such a good musician, isn't he, that he can improvise on the spot.
Oh God,
he grabs a guitar off us and shows us how to play a solo.
Oh, he comes
you're doing it wrong, tell us.
We're in practice and he says, can I have a go with your guitar? And I'm like, yeah, and he just pulls out this riff and I'm like, what the hell was that?
And he gets on the drums, it's like he's got bananas in his hands.
I can see a comedy moment happening on stage.
Oh yeah, we were actually talking in practice. We were going to do a cover song. I'm not going to tell you which cover in case we do it, and we were all going to swap instruments. So we were going to teach each other how to play other instruments and then have a go at it. But at the moment, it's not looking.
Yeah, we haven't got time.
It took you so long before you did your first gig to get yourself sorted.
Yeah. You could be waiting a long time. So I wouldn't wait.
Give it 3 years.
Yeah, I wouldn't wait.
Obviously, with with the change of lineup and everything, has the songwriting process changed if you're looking at going to the album later this year? Or is it?
No, I don't think so.
And we've only just got back to songwriting, haven't we, recently? Because we spent so long just getting the songs that we already had up to scratch with the drummer that, for him to be comfortable with it, it's like, right, now we'll work on, new songs. Because
the important thing for us, wasn't it? It was in the early days, just get up to speed with the songs that people know. Because people have come to watch us quite a lot.
And then before then,
I think we owe it to them really that we want to play them to the best of our ability. So we just wanted to say we'll get the songs down first, and then we'll come back to that later on when we're a bit more established with the new setup, wasn't it? I think.
And it's strange because before the whole drummer situation, that when we had Rad, we still didn't even have a distinct style. We had some of our old songs that we've played live probably 3 or 4 times. They're different again, weren't they? Loads of blues in them and stuff like that. Bad and beautiful.
We come up with ideas and then we put them down. We take them to the practice room. We strip them back, then we build them back up. And at the time, we think, you know what, they're really good. But then when we play them in with our other songs that we've got, they stand out like a sore thumb, and it's just not us because we've got so much influence in the band. It's not Defy All Reason. It's kind of it's something that we could do, but it's not us. So we put that on the back burner, and then they disappear, and then
there's only one we've kept, really, isn't there? Because it's just
there's only one.
It's like a bit of a cheeky song.
But in terms of songwriting, our songwriting is our structure and how we put songs down is dead basic. One of us will come up with an idea, we record it at home, we send it out to everyone and say, listen, come up with ideas, we go to practice room, we strip it back, we build it back up, and then we keep putting ideas in until we're all happy with it, we practice it, we tighten it, and we throw it in. So some songs take shape over 3-4 weeks, some take 4 or 5 months. Depends on how many issues we have, and we're doing that wrong.
I don't like it.
It's crap. And this could cause a few problems. Does anyone have overall say in the band?
I wouldn't say so. No. I
think we've got get to fisticuffs yet.
We've got. I was going to say we've got a few vocal people.
I'll be honest. I'm fussy as hell with anything. If we're doing a song here,
he's nodding away now.
Nodding,
it's a good thing, though.
I'm fussy. If there's the tiniest thing where I'm not sure of, I would rather just say. I'd rather just be like, sorry if it pees you off, but I don't like that bit. Can we try something else?
Best example was that new song we're working on at the moment. And we had this middle bit, right? And he sat down on his chair and he literally went, not happy with it. and I was thinking to myself, right, he needs 10 minutes here to chill out. So we were I don't know what we were doing, just farting around him.
It's not an OCD, it's a sulk.
It's
a proper song.
What was it? Because it was a song I'd come up with. It's I had this riff and I started putting it together. Oh, great. I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. Do I put a solo in there? Do I just do a bit of a breakdown thing? Couldn't think of anything. Went to his house. We just settled with something that we came up with, and you could tell it was we just kind of went for it because it was there.
So do you find your
awful
sulkiness gets worse in a studio when you're recording? Because
I thought we had good fun in the studio, didn't we?
Yeah.
Apart from being stone cold.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh my God.
Awesome studio, but you need some heaters in there. Not just a few electric ones.
It was cold.
Because I before we went into the website and the media side of things, I was in numerous bands and all sorts, and I was never happy in the studio. For whatever reason, when it was recorded, I was never happy with what I'd recorded.
Right, okay.
And I came away and everyone was going, no, it sounds great, but I was never happy. So I, to a degree, was the sulky one. But everyone was like, it sounds great, but if I wasn't happy with it, I never wanted to promote it and get it out.
Yeah. But you've got to be happy with it. I mean, we spent so long
I was
working.
a bit sceptical about one of the tracks on an EP. I said to you, I don't know if it does it.
Yeah, but you're not that way.
Still.
Go on then, which track is it off your EP? Now we're opening a can of worms now.
Oh, God.
No, go on, I want to. You might as well say it now.
There was something missing in Shake It.
Right, in what respect?
Don't know.
Because that Shake It has been the song, track, it's been the one that's been held and thrown round by every promoter, by everyone.
Day one as
the one thing I can see with Shake It is we went in the studio trying to replicate, because our sound live is quite thick, it's quite raw. We wanted to take that and put it onto a CD. We didn't want it to be over-processed or compressed. We just wanted to take it, put it in, and have it sound like us. And I think initially when we recorded it, we couldn't quite get what we wanted, even though we had our sound there. I mean, Skegsy's bass sounds phenomenal on it.
Yeah, at the time we were like, oh, it's sounding great, but then once it was starting to get mixed, it was kind of for me, I was like, it just feels like maybe we should have just produced it a little bit more. Right, you got
I'm
add an extra guitar in it.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I think it's alright. I think I can see where you're coming from, because some people who've heard, because what we did was we did a
some
demo
people
recording.
actually say they prefer the demo.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
we did a demo recording
Yeah.
of it, but it was just the RPM was slightly higher, so it was a bit quicker.
Yeah.
Now, was it recorded individually? Because some studios now you'll record the bass first. And then
Yeah,
it
we
goes
did it
to
as
the
late
bass.
track.
Yeah, we did it late, yeah.
You see, you're just used to playing it live.
Hmm.
Obviously, a lot of producers don't want to do that anymore because they want to be in control of every little finer detail.
Yeah.
But 70s, 80s band, they used to just record it as was, and you
Yeah,
could
yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
So if there was a mistake, there's a mistake.
Yeah.
But it was as it was meant to be played.
It might be as well because we played Shake It's got this kind of groove and it moves and it sweeps across as you play it. When we were in the studio, it was played to a click, so everything is tight. It's drawn in. Now I think maybe Shake It we could have recorded it without a click. It's a little bit freer. It moves.
I was going to say, if you're
So
listening
possibly-
to that click, you want to slow it
possibly
down.
that might. I mean, for us, it wasn't an issue because it was more rad on the drums because we had to go to this click. Once the drums were down, we had that. We could just go off the drums.
But naturally, as you're playing together, some pitch you might speed up just naturally.
Yeah, yeah.
Which you'd give it the more.
And live, you always have a bit more energy into it because you're jumping around.
Whereas
and,
that.
Yeah, so
Because I was sceptical about the speed of it as well. When I was like, maybe just so fussy about like 2 BPM more or something like that would have just maybe done it for me.
I mean,
maybe that's all it was
for
missing.
me, for the singing point of view, that's why it's perfect for me because I can get the pitch out, I can get the range out because it's at a nice speed.
He writes about 50 lyrics for like one line. So. That's
not true.
He has to try and squeeze it all into like 10 seconds.
And then it's produced, you have to speed it up slowly to get something right.
I've got to say though,
I'm only joking.
I actually really like how Shake It turned out because I like the original version, but I just think having that little bit slower. I don't know. Sometimes you see bands
more like
they play too
beats,
fast, don't they?
it?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think
we
sometimes
found it live. We were doing that, weren't we?
we were playing it too
watched
fast,
videos.
and it got to the point where you listen to it back. You know when we did the Snooty the first time and they recorded it for us. We thought, God, we're playing that
I don't even know
fast.
how
It was faster than the demo.
It was lightning fast.
Yeah.
We just thought when we came into the studio, when we were recording the EP, we thought we've got to do it in a way where we don't lose the energy, but at the same time we've got to tail it back a little bit, just so it's easy for Gav to sing, and so it's more of a compact song as well. So
you see, with listening to the video from YouTube and the way it was recorded, and then the way you play it and perform it now live, it doesn't seem right when you with the click. It seems too slow. It doesn't seem to have the right feel about it.
Okay.
So obviously we've been see you a few times, and we can see every time you play it, you all seem happier playing it quicker than what it's meant to be.
I think it's because we've always done it quicker live. I think that's the problem. Like we've always naturally played it faster. I don't think we play it as fast now as what we used to.
No.
But we still play it a little bit quicker than what we do that's on the EP.
I think that's you should do that though as well. You watch so many professional bands, Alter Bridge, go nuts. They go too fast.
Miles Kennedy can sing anything, so you can let him off.
But I mean, like you listen to him and you watch back videos of Alter Bridge, and you go, yeah, it actually sounds a bit sloppy. It's a bit too fast.
I think
that's what Shake It got to at one point, didn't it?
No.
And then it was like, right, okay, we really need to slow this down.
we had an agreement that it's getting a bit too.
We've got to get that
too out
tempo.
of hand, so I think that's
at least to the demo sort of.
It was probably
speed
more
of it.
to rein us back in, to bring a bit more control. Because I think if you go too fast on a song, which is fast paced, then
you were jumping over pedals.
I don't tap dance very well. Do you know what I mean? And I've got no one to do the buttons for me. So yeah, I mean, for me, Shake It is still one of my favourite songs. But I love how Behind Those Eyes turned out. That's
my favourite track.
Yeah.
Do
you know what's really interesting as well? Out of all the feedback we've had, there's been several different people who said each song has been their favourite. We've not had one where it's a standout favourite for anybody that most people seem to like.
Which must be good because
different tunes.
Because the different people who go to the gigs for the different songs.
Yeah.
So some might just go. As we know, some bands have one song and that's there, and the people just go for that one song. If you've got people going for the different songs, they're not just going to sit there and go.
Well, it's one thing we tried to do with the EP is like, right, we got Shake It, that's our in-your-face, ballsy rock sort of song, it's just, you can't help but tap your foot to it, I still do it when I'm driving, I should be driving, blow my own whistle by playing my own CD when I'm driving. But,
it's you, is it?
Yeah. That's what you can hear going through the
you're the one.
And then we thought, like, Behind Those Eyes, a lot of people call it a power ballad, I tend to disagree on that.
You see, it depends we have this, every band we interview, it's that genre. People have to put you in a genre. You shouldn't. If it's good music, as we've always said, and you've probably seen on the interviews done, it's good music irrespective. No matter whether they call it power ballad or whether you're hardcore, whatever, it shouldn't matter. If it's good and it should be out there, it should just be there.
Well, we thought we'd put that on because we had so much good feedback off friends and other people
Yeah,
at
we only
gigs
ever played
and
it
stuff,
live, haven't we? We
Yeah.
haven't done anything else with it.
And thought, right, you know, it's got power in it, but it's got the soft side of it as well. It was like we thought it had a nice mix. And Coming Home, it was just, that's the commercial sort of song where you can stick it on any radio and, you know, like Nickelback's Photograph or something like that. You know,
you haven't got a radio edit version of these songs.
Well,
No.
you know, we got. I didn't think about it. We were in the studio, and then we sent the EP off to this radio station. They said, "We love it. We're going to play it on the radio." And then I got a message back within an hour saying, "We can't play it." And I was like, "Why?" It's like, "There's no radio-friendly version." I was like, so I was kind of thinking, can you just bleep it out? There's only 2 words.
I would say the amount of time they do that on loads of songs. Just for.
Yeah. I just didn't think at the time. So I don't think we ever thought that like Shake It is the one that's got the naughty words in it, and we didn't think that would ever take off in terms of radio play.
Does that mean when you go to the studio to do the new album, you will be thinking about the radio edit potential?
Yes, I can't leave out the naughty words, can I?
Yeah.
No,
especially when you write naughty songs all the time.
But yeah, I mean,
They're all about your fantasies, aren't they?
yeah. We're not going to go there. We're not going to go there.
We're listening to those
We're not
tracks.
going to go there.
See, last thing they say, what are you thinking about? You're writing this? It's like, I blame it on him. It's like, he wrote the song.
Yeah.
What are you shaking it to?
You're going to get me in trouble with the wife. Yeah, so I don't know. I think you kind of learn. You learn as you go. So when I think a lot of our songs now that they are radio friendly anyway. It just so happens that some of the earlier songs were a bit more risque.
Yes, the radio are clamping down a lot.
Yeah.
So you might not think it might be a swear word, and they'll just come and say, "Not having that."
Yeah. I mean, some of the rock radio stations, metal radio stations, they don't care. They like love it and they'll play it. But some of the more sort of commercial side radio stations that are looking for more friendly versions of stuff, they can only take 3 out of the 4 songs, which I'm quite happy with because at least they've got 3 out of the 4 songs that they can choose from. And there's a mix of your ballady type, your sort of your lower down structured ones, and then your high tempo ones. So there's a mixture there for them to use. So it's not the end of the world.
No.
I'm just quite glad we didn't put 4 songs on there which are absolutely
just
swearing to the hills, and we thought, oh no, we're in trouble.
We don't have too much swearing in any of the songs really, do we?
I was going to say even we play it live. There's compared with some artists, you are radio friendly, irrespective.
Well, yeah. I suppose because we were trying to work out what we class ourselves as, because we play with metal bands and scream metal and thrash metal, and then we play with like indie rock pop bands.
You just
we
can't
go from like
find
one
anyone like us,
and we're
can
kind
we?
of floating in this middle area, and then everyone's like, "You're great, we'll put you on this bill." And I'm looking at the bill thinking, "We don't suit that."
Yeah.
Don't
Then we
fine.
have, we go.
From my perspective, we love our hard rock, and you seem to fit in with that kind of hard rock.
That's good.
Now,
That's good.
Glad you said that.
as you know, the boss playing on the phone, ignoring it. Obviously, she's a major obsessive Buck Cherry fan, as we all know.
No, is she?
Oh, really? You described us.
Yeah,
But because when we go and see all these hard rock bands, and you look at what other bands they get put with, I feel that you're the same. That you're not metal, you're not just a normal rock band. You've got something a bit more gritty edge to it. But a lot of promoters haven't got enough hard rock bands there to put you on that bill.
Yeah.
Hence why you get put with like Waves of Swallows or Five in the Empire.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like when people go to the nights, they might be rock fans, they might be metal fans, and there's never that equal balance.
No, and the way that you see a lot of the bands playing on a lot of the bills now, that they kind of all differ anyway. So we kind of just go with the flow. We just appreciate being invited to play gigs, because you could quite easily get turned down and someone say, no, you're not right for us. And so we played Mould Food Festival, which is a family-friendly, orientated festival.
Just sounds so wrong, doesn't it? The Mould
Food Festival.
Yeah.
A lot of people have said that.
A lot of penicillin available.
But I tell you what, the food's very nice. It's very nice.
Yeah.
We played there, and we were getting up to do the set, and I was looking at the set list, and we got a song there. It was called Dead and Gone, and I was thinking to myself, I was looking at the crowd, and this isn't going to go down well. But we played it anyway, and we got a good reaction from it, because even the promoter said to us, she goes, I was a bit worried about putting you on the bill. But at the end, it went down really well. And it's
We
just
had a good mix of our set
back.
as well, though, didn't
yeah,
we?
but we've been invited back to go again this year.
Yeah.
But we're not going to play
Must
Dead
have
and
done
Gone.
something right.
We'll replace that with the ZZ Top cover, I
Yeah,
think.
we won't play Dead and Gone this time. But we've got extremes of what we play.
Yeah.
And we see that because when we play our coming home type songs, you see a certain part of the audience come forward and go, this is good.
All
as soon
the
as we
mums and
kick in,
children.
and then we kick into another song and they kind of disappear.
Yeah, they run to the back.
You
crying
kind
and
of see.
screaming.
As soon as they hear a little bit of grit on the guitar, they're like, ooh, too loud.
So it differs, but I like that flexibility. I like being able to do that, and I think that's nice for us to have.
Now, if we then move on to what's coming up for you guys, the biggest thing, what I can see for you guys, even though you play with some well-established great bands, you've got the Hard Rock Rising.
Yeah, Hard Rock Hell. Yeah.
We still really can't believe it now, to be honest with you, that we're there.
Just look forward to go to Glasgow and getting pissed.
Yeah, maybe that's not the quite attitude.
Yeah, we're working.
I never get to stay over after a gig and get drunk, so it's like, I'm always driving.
That was fantastic. I mean, we've been really lucky to get to know people who've really helped us, and then we submitted the EP, which had come out at the right time, promoted that, got to know a lot of the promoters and people involved in it, and again, the feedback we had from it was great. We got invited into this forum to get voted on, and it's just gone from there. And we've done really, really well. And some of the bands that were put through are phenomenal. And we're sitting there thinking, like, what are we doing on that bill with them? Because they're stunning bands. And we just think, we've just got to go up there. We've got to do what we do, enjoy it, and take from there whatever we can. Because I'm really looking forward to it.
Because you obviously, from my perspective, because obviously last time we were at Hard Rock Hell, we've done Hammerfest as the press, and we see what's going on. It's a huge step forward for you guys to be on just a bill for the Hard Rock Rising, potentially with what could come for next year and later this year.
Well, you never know, and that's the thing. I think we're going to go there with the outlook of, we're not going there to become the best band ever. We're going there to just be the best band we can be. Yeah. And then if that's good enough at the time, great. If it's not, we go back and we do it all again. But I'm hoping that something's going to open up for us in terms of we might get some other contacts for different gigs. So an extra few fans won't go amiss. Everyone likes fans.
Well, it's always well attended.
CDs.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We're good friends with Massive Wagons, the band from is it Lincolnshire they're from?
I think so, yeah.
I keep forgetting to ask Baz. Sorry, Baz. So and they were there last year, and they played, and they had a fantastic band. And Baz was saying to me that it's just the experience of it itself is phenomenal.
Because the guys that actually finished in I think it was the top 3 went to Hard Rock Hell, then they went to the Rock Ibiza. Things.
Yeah. Is that the road? That's the road trip one.
The road trip. Yeah. By just doing so well at that one Battle of the Bands, if you want to put it in a basic format, opens up so many doors. Yeah. So next year.
Well, fingers crossed. I think all we can do is take the opportunity with both hands, jump on it, do what we do, and see what comes from it. Yeah.
And I actually think just by being there, like you say, it's already a massive thing for us.
Yeah,
and the amount that we're going to get from it if we play our best, regardless of what happens, I think it'll
Gav's got gift of the gab.
I like to network.
Trouble as well, so
I like to network with people. It's nice to go and speak to people who take the time out to come and watch you. And I think it's always nice to actually. We can't really repay them with anything apart from playing our music and just saying hello. And it's always nice to hear their thoughts as well, because they're the ones that listen to you. What we hear is not necessarily what you hear and what everyone else hears.
No, true.
And we might have a set idea of what we sound like, but until you actually stand in the crowd and you watch yourself, you're never really going to appreciate what it is. Like Rad said, didn't he? Rad came to watch one of our gigs in Central Station in Wrexham, and he said standing there was a bit weird to watch because it's kind of
he's normally been there with you guys.
And the sound we get on the stage is not what you hear.
He's used to staring at your ass as opposed to looking at your face.
And how dare he miss it? So again, it's just nice to talk and mingle with people. I like that. I like that.
We've got another exciting gig coming up, but we can't announce it yet as well.
I wanted a nice.
That's October, isn't it?
Nice exclusive coming in.
Sorry.
We'll give you when we're allowed.
It might be imminent, but we can't say.
Yeah.
I've got to be tight-lipped.
I know. Yeah, it's fine. I get myself in enough trouble with these sorts of things anyway. So after Hard Rock Rising, no matter what happens there, the album's going to be recorded end of this year, next year.
Hopefully end of this year. I'm hoping for end of this year, but it might be more January.
Are you trying to get a pledge campaign together to assist you, or do you
feel
someone that when he's done his exams might enough to pay for it all?
Well, you never
4
know.
years for that.
Never know. I mean,
hopefully I'll never need to do more.
A lot of bands do these pledges, and I quite like the idea in some aspects, and I kind of don't. I think if we're going to go down the pledge route and ask people to pledge to put, we've got to be able to give them something for their money, what they're putting in. Because some people might put a £5 in, some people might put 50 quid in, or whatever it is, and you kind of think to yourself, well, you can't give them the same
No, true. But if you think about bands that recently have started doing the pledge campaign, you've got bands like Soil who are doing it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, how can a band of such calibre of Soil need assistance?
It's like Thomas Nicholas' band, do you know who they are? The guy from American Pie. He's got a band.
Right.
You know, he's been in films, and he was doing a pledge music. You know,
Really?
Offering to people say, "Oh, I'll do a private gig in your house anywhere in the world, wherever you are, for $2,500 or something like that." You know, you pay for our flights, and we'll come over and do it.
Not bad. I mean, there's Phil to play in Leeds Reading this year, and they've done a pledge campaign where they'll say, if you pledge $10, you get a T-shirt.
Yeah.
You pledge $1,000, you can come and have coffee with us wherever we're playing when we play the venue near you, and that's the other way of doing it. And at the moment, I can't see. You tell me if I'm wrong. You're from the other side of things now, that because the money's no longer as there as it was.
Well, it's not there. It's not there. I think unless you've got good financial backing, or you've got the money yourself to put into the band to actually get the band where you need it to be, and hope that sales will then take you to the next level, you're always going to be struggling. And I think, you know, we did like an EP fundraiser where people just paid for a ticket to come and watch us, and we did quite well off that to put money towards the EP, which was great. But in terms of pledging, it'd be fantastic to get people to donate and help us out, and we'd try and give them back what we could. We haven't actually thought that far ahead yet. We're still trying to think.
So
about,
I'm jumping the gun a little bit.
It's things we need to look at.
Yeah,
it's things we need to think about. But we've got to think about what songs we're going to record first.
For me, is that if we just sold the
start,
stock of the EPs that we got, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if we can
there'd be a bit of money there
if we shift the EPs and we've got the merchandise that we shift,
like
that'll hopefully go into it as well. So there's a lot of things that.
I was just trying to get the exclusive out of you without you realising, well, that didn't bloody happen, did it? So anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for coming in.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome.
We'll let's listen out for these songs coming up, guys. You're going to enjoy this.